Hi, happy birthday to Moi. We're gonna play some Dead by Daylight today. Oh, killer. Should I play killer matches? I'm so bad. Turn I have to do a no ed match. I think I'm just gonna do no ed with Huntress. And I can't rush kills. I have to kill endgame. Kini eat zucchini. So one minute, you'll never know you. It's just you. Kini's cause it feels so. Heard on the internet, girl. We have to get these no ed sacrifices at endgame. Big Papa's hot. Hi guys. We're gonna play some games today. Don't booty home. This song is so good. How to make a pound cake. Bum 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 bum. Okay, it's Noed. I don't know how to play Noed. Like, I kind of just need to let them finish, right? The Bagens. Alright, basement's outside. Basement's in shack, right? Is that what that means? Michael! Hi, welcome in. Check in, hit check in too. Yeah. It didn't come up. Oh, because they don't have streamer bot open. You're gonna have to do it again. Bitch. I don't even know where they are. I can hear them. They're not far. Oh, they're here. Oh, I have eerie head. What am I doing? I forgot to hear iridescent head. I see you play killer. Yeah, I know. We have a bonus in killer today, so I think I'm just gonna play killer. How you doing, Migs? Are you starting school this week, or is it next week? Not up yet. Okay, nice. It's okay. I have to let them finish the gens. Like, I can't push them too hard. Okay, she's not in shock. 26, you start school. Sorry, but. Didn't get them. I hear her. Ooh, nice. Go, go, go. Run, run, run. Run, run. Okay, it's okay. I can afford one hook. No, no, no. No flashlight safe for you. You're chilling right now? Okay, guys. I just need the no-ed kills, friends. They all have flashlights. They all want it. Go ahead. Throw the pallet. Oh, he wasn't close. It's Nick Cage, Mike. It's Nick Cage. I need to get another that shit. I really don't like playing killer, but here we are. Oh, there he is. I didn't get him. GG. How was your weekend, Mike? How was your weekend? What'd you do? Oh, hey! He didn't even know I was there? Did he not know? It's okay, girl. I'll come chase you. Pallet. Aha. Another pallet? You're gonna waste that one too? Ooh. You got that one done. Oh look, they're right here. It's that Meg again. You thought. Why doesn't she heal? Like, what's up with her? She has sprint burst. And that's that on that one. Oh my god, the Meg is still over here. Why? Park bench. Move mirror. Oh my god, I have to move the mirror. Yeah, I have to move the mirror back. I haven't touched the park bench. I just lifted it up. I see her right there. What are you doing, girl? Where are you going? It's okay. I'm just gonna go back to them. I'm gonna scare them a little bit. Hi, Nez. I literally have not touched this room. Park bench. I'm gonna start calling it the park bench. That's so funny. Chris would probably agree it's giving park bench. Ooh, that would've been fun. Hi guys, I'm coming. I'm coming to get you. I'll come get you. He's gonna hit the pallet. Drop pallet. Drop pallet. He wants the pallet drop. Drop pallet, drop pallet. Oh, he's not gonna drop it. I'm gonna get some axes. Remind me of those days. Dude, it's literally an Amazon futon that I was like, oh, I kinda want a futon for when my brother's in town, and, well. Wow, guys. I slept better in my hotel bed, honestly. The way that it sounded, that's the truth. They could be working on that gen in the street. They're not doing this gen. They're doing Shack gen. I hear her. It's the Yui. Oh, Yui, come back. I want to hang out with you. There you are, Yui. Nice. She hit me, guys. Oh, Nick Cage is dead. Pallet. Stop it. Stupid. I don't know where Nick Cage is, but I'm gonna get another hatchet. Friend, I can't believe the weekend's over. I'm so happy you're here. I'll never know. That's what you get. See, this game is so passive, friend. Like, I can just play this in chat. I don't even have the... Oh, couldn't get that. Should I just tunnel her? Is this a pallet? No, there's no pallet. It was wasted. Where are you going, Lara? Where are you going? Lara, I wanna play. Come back here. Chow Ming, where you going, girl? There's a pallet there. There's not a pallet here, though. Oh! Nice! Throw the pallet! Throw the pallet! Now I'm gonna get the hatchets. Oh, she threw another pallet! Damn, wasteful, wasteful. Only got the gen done, but I don't have the perk I need. She wants this chase. I have bloodlusts. Try that again. Try that again. The Nick Cage is gonna come with his flashlight. I'm gonna go all the way over here. Oh wait, no, the door's there. I'm gonna go here. That's the door he opened. Is it here? Damn, she took her second hook. He's gonna get out, but it's fine, it's fine. There's another pallet here. He really wants... Oh, I missed! Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out, get out. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Get out, get out. Get out, get out. Oh. Nice. He tried it. Well, he got out. Couldn't get the kill. I needed to use a different perk anyways, so not really. I guess it was just practice. I wanted to change. What time do you work? I work at 9 o'clock. It's like 9 to 5. Typical 9 to 5. Sometimes I'll start at like 8:30. It just depends on what time I wake up. If I'm ready to work by 8:30, sometimes I'll just start at 8:30. But I plan on being in the office tomorrow, which is close to where you'll be if you don't fly out too early. Which was I was saying we can get lunch or something together if you want to. No water. My brother, I got my brother's birthday gift today, and it was 2 blind boxes. So we opened those up. See, that blind boxes and Labubus, like Pop Mart, is not something, like, if you're that way about Pokemon, I feel like you'd be scalping those Pop Mart figurines. This is such a bad map for her. One pallet drop? No pallet drop. Autocrit. 2 paninis! Yeah, look. Nice. Okay, get out of there. I have 6 hatchets. I'm gonna go back for this. Break. Yes, I had 2 Pop Mart like figurines, and one of the ones he got me, this is the 3rd time I've gotten that same one. Do you feel that way when you get certain boxes and stuff for Pokemon cards? I see you, girl. I don't have iridescent heads, so they're not one-shot kills. Damn, everybody has sprint burst. I just want to run. Watch. Over here, nope. Ooh, she's better than me, everybody. Guys, she's better. That's fine. Which one are you wanting? I don't really... There's not one I want in particular, but, damn, I'm really bad, guys. Guys, I don't play killer. I want to kill her. Look, drop that pallet. Drop that pallet, drop that pallet. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. She wants to fucking blind me. Guys, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. But you don't want the same one 3 times. Yeah, I don't want the same one 3 times, but I don't really care which one I get, you know what I mean? It's like I'm getting the same one 3 times. Yeah, I want you off this pallet, bitch. Drop the pallet. 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 Oh, no, never. Go, go, go. Guys, I'm so bad at kill. Oh my god, this girl. Go, go, go. Look at her sprint burst. How weird. I guess I have no ed, but oh, I don't like playing like this. Like they're doing the most. Run, Sable. I'm so bad at killer too. Like I'd rather get chased, you know? I don't like chasing after people. Like I can't do this another match. I don't like it. I want her to switch up on me. Dude! Get off that. Oh, they took one of my hexes away. A finesse? Guys, these guys trying hard on a Monday, friend. Guys, I just want to get my no-ed kills. Excuse me. Oh, it's in the cage again. Another Nick Cage. This one off the pallet. Oh, I can't do this. This is the worst map for my girl Huntress. It's indoors. I'm gonna go back to this gen, I guess. Get off my ass, Lori. Bro, you're doing the most. Sprint burst. Do it! Oh, look at her. Sprint burst. Oh my god, she's so fast. My girl Lori's so fast. Look at her go. She loves to run. She's a runner. She's a track star. Dude, I can't. I can't do it. They're gonna hit this gen. Finish this gen. Oh, she left. She dipped. She's right here. Drop pallet. Finally, bro. Well, I got one hook. Is the killer random? No, I picked this killer, but the map is random. And like, you know, this is a ranged killer, so it's just easier for her to be at range. Oh, nice. Look at them. They're trying so hard. This is so weird. I got you once. I'm gonna fall in here. Oh, you want me to find you? Look, sprint burst. Okay, cool. I have a perk where they'll insta down, but I just have to hit them. Nice. Wow, they're not even here. They're really going for hook, and they're opening the door. These guys are trying hard, guys. They really want to get out. They're scared for their lives. That's how I feel. I'm like, wow, you guys really want to get out. They're gonna open this door now. Watch. Another. I'll just go after Sable. No, but like how your killer for the gate was at random. Oh no. Basically, you queue up as a killer, or you queue up as a survivor. And when you queue up as a killer, they just put you in a lobby of like with 4 other people, like random people, or they might be in a team. Like these people could be in a lobby together. You know, it seems like they are. Oh, I hear you. Bitch. Go ahead. Okay, open this door. That Lori had something to prove, guys. Just leave, guys. You guys are losers. Just leave. And they're gonna get out here, or are they chasing me around? Or they're getting their clips in. They got their clips for sure. Size there, yes. Get the hell out, man. They definitely got their clips, guys. Everyone clap for the clip farm. I'm happy they got their clips. Okay, enough of this bad killer gameplay. I'm gonna play Survivor. Did you lose? I fucking lost bad. I'm just not good at killer. I never play killer. Oh, this is unhooking. I'm much better at running away and healing and being that annoying killer. You know what I mean? I'm just better at that. I probably won't stream for very long. It's already late. It's already late. I probably stream in like an hour. For like an hour. so I can shower. Do good killers even exist? That seems so difficult. Dude, playing killer is so hard. And there are so many good killers out there. Like, I'm like, how do you guys do that? I have no patience. I just want to kill them, you know, immediately. But I was also trying to achieve like one of the objectives. One of my missions was to like use a certain perk and kill 2 killers right in the end game. And I'm like, I don't want to do all that. I just want to like find them, not kill them end game. Like just get the put the metal to the pedal to the metal. What is that saying? Metal to the pedal? Is that what I was about to say? Metal to the pedal. You know what I meant. But you see, it's gonna take a while for metal to the pedal. Exactly. Okay. TikToker. Oh, James loops you. Are they even live on TikTok? I like looking for Twitch and TikTok handles, guys. I'm also gonna Nestle. I think I'm gonna put TV at the end of my name. I'm gonna have to change something up because I kind of want people to find me. James loops you. Not live. Oh, they play Fortnite too. GG's, I guess. Do it, but not if you're a sucky killer. I should. Joey, happy birthday. Thank you. How was your day today? Happy Monday. How you doing, Joey? Thank you again for coming out yesterday. I really appreciated it. Poke Monday. Wait, what do you mean? Is like Pokemon? Oh, is Monday like a big day for cards? Hey, wait, come back here. Come, hi. It's Springtrap. He's right there. Look, he's right there. He's right there. He's right there. He's right there. He's upstairs. It's a Springtrap. Hey, Springtrap. Springtrap, hi. Hey, friend. Oh, that was so funny. Imagine. Hey. Oh, no. I'm running. Okay, he is our friend. He's our friend. Oh, shit. Leave my friends alone. No. No. He's mad. He's mad we didn't take him seriously. He's not just a cuddly teddy bear. Come here, come here. Come here, come here. This is hooray! You know, gotta get those these teeth cleaned before. Come on, let me heal you. James, let me heal you. I want to heal you. No, please.
You ain't gonna die.
I have solidarity. I'll heal myself. Dentist before your procedure. You see? You don't even have to be here that long. Look, done. Alright, I'm gonna work on a gen. He doesn't seem very friendly. He communicated with us. Procedures on Thursday. Yeah. Procedures on Thursday. That's what I'm saying. You gotta get your teeth cleaned before the procedure. It's like getting a haircut, but you know, you don't have any hair. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry. Crown and Columbia week. Coloring book. Just because it's every day, I'll let you know how that goes. Look, I'm not that far behind you, bro. My friend was just clowning me about my short hair. Colorado trip, exactly. Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Is Laura here with me? No. Run, James, run! Colonial Williamsburg field trip. Olive oil week. Olive oil? What? Oh, damn. James, what was that? One done. Two done. Hey, Laura, we got these done together. Hi. Go in there. What? What? Okay. No! Oh, you want me to save him? I'll get James. Not that I'm bringing about. Shit, I gotta go up there this week. I don't know when. Go up to Milwaukee? It's olive oil week in Milwaukee? Are we just nodding at each other, guys? I'm gonna go to this one. Come right now, bring my poster. Hi. He's not happy with me. He wants to chase me. No! Please, no! Damn. No! He's mad at me. Please, no! He's mad at me for some reason. Oh, you left the yes, there's an olive oil place in the public market hour. Oh. How could you? How very dare you, Springtrap? I thought we were friends. Bring my poster. Come right now, bring my poster. Who has a poster? Wait, Joey, do you have a poster? Oh yeah, Joey has. I'm so confused. Me thinking you're talking about me, I'm like, you left a poster here? What? If you planned ahead. I don't trust him. I think they have it under control, but I'm gonna do the gents. Yeah, we could totally brought olive oil down for you. Let me heal you! Let me heal you! I don't know what is going on, friends. Yay! Use the toolbox. This killer's being nice. I think he's just playing with us. Oh, he's opening the door. How was your birthday? I had so much fun today. I had such a good day today. Mark and I did a bunch of nothing. Oh. Come on, heal. Come. Hi. Oh! You can have her. I don't want her. You know what? I'm gonna leave. I'm done testing my limits with this crazy animatronic freak. Okay? Whee! Got a blast. Oh yes, he's tired of us being here. Yes. Yay! Oh, he wants a slug race. Nice. This Meg does not know what fun is. We're playing red light, green light. He is so scary. I'm leaving. Goodbye. He is so scary looking. My birthday was really good. We slept in. I think everybody slept in. Actually, Nestle told me that she slept, like, she kept waking up every hour because of how uncomfortable she was. Like, wait. And she was in a better bed. The park bench for Exhibit A, park bench. Exhibit B, hotel room bed. But we slept in, and then we had breakfast, watched some TV, literally did nothing all day, and then went to our dispensary. Then we went to a brewery, had a beer, had some cheese curds with ranch. That's the only thing Nestle didn't have to have while she was here was cheese curds with some homemade ranch. Next time, Nestle, we're going to get some cheese curds. But that's why we plan out for a whole weekend. So we have stuff to do all weekend. You know what I mean? And yeah, had you said something about olive oil sooner, I totally could have stopped at that shop. And is that why you come to Milwaukee, to go to that olive oil like vendor? Gonna go put this child to bed. Good night, Justine. Sleep tight. Thank you, friend. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me yesterday. Like, I really appreciate it. Honestly, it means so much to me. And hopefully we'll get to see each other soon. Let me know when you're planning to do that Pokemon museum. For sure. My hair is like, hold on. Gotta do this. I want a Neo! Not Midwich. Another Springtrap? Is it the same Springtrap? I should have checked the name. Guys, it's another Springtrap. It's the same model. No. He went for the gen. Does he come this way? Lost him. Going back to the gen, guys. I'm scared. I don't know where the gens are in this map ever. Oh! No! Wow, no! You don't remember me? No! It's the same guy, please! No, imagine. It's definitely not the same guy. This is not the same guy. Oh, I don't have slippery meat. I should put on slippery meat, guys. Oh, he's just sitting here. Guys, please. I'd rather finish the gen. Let's go. Let's finish the gen. Hurry.
Stupid hook.
Dog. Thank you, Mr. Donuts. You're the best.
You saved my life. Thank you.
I'm gonna go out into the... I knew it. I'm scared! Go, Mr. Donuts, go, run! fuck was that? Oh, I can see him. Look at him. Look, he's right there.
Nothing to worry about.
Guys. He's right over there. I'm scared. We're almost there. He is looking, he's hunting. No! No! Please! I'm scared! No, please! They're not even doing a gen! This girl's just standing there outside! Why? Why is she just standing there? She hopes to get me. Girl, he is not over there. Look at her hiding. But she has no idea. She thinks he's outside. She's crouched. Oh, she wasn't outside. I'm the idiot. Please, Michaela, please.
Guess I'm off the hook.
I'm scared. I know. Sometimes this game makes me feel like an idiot. I'm the idiot. Let's go. I'm literally on death hook. Help. Is he camping this gen? Oh, this is not the gen. Where's the gen upstairs? I'm scared. Not tunneling me, bro. I can't. Work that gen, work that gen. He's coming after me. Oh, he's after the Yui. Oh my god, less. Grr. I don't know where my teammates are. I have no concept of where my teammates are. I don't know what gen they're working on. It's not far from me. Nice, guys. Alright, I'm gonna go to the door. And I'm gonna open the door and see what's up. At the door. Hi. Hi, Mr. Donuts. Hi. Come on. No! Michaela! Go, guys, go! No! Please come save me! Wow, Mr. Donuts left me! Oh, there's no way they were gonna save me, right? I'm on death hook. I tried so hard. Damn, he almost got us, I guess. Jeez. Or we almost got him, rather. Alright, I'm gonna play a few more. Maybe 10:30.
This is taking screams in the dark to a whole nother level.
Ooh, did you lose? I did lose. Well, I think when you're a survivor, it's kind of a team effort. Like, of course, we all want to survive, but as long as somebody gets out, I feel like we won, you know? And 3 people got out. Can't complain. I'm running to the bathroom. I can make your booty pop. Booty pop? Make your booty pop. I can make your booty pop. Booty, booty. Make a booty pop. Okay, this one we're gonna win. I'm convinced. It's like I didn't like the last map. I don't like this map. Hi, Michonne. Oh, hey, Rebecca. Excuse me. No, Michonne, run! Close, 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 close. I'm gonna go look for another gen. Because I don't know what any of the gens are around here. Oh, it's Michael Myers. Go, Michonne, go. Ooh, the whiff is insane. Bye, Michael Myers. Run, Michonne, run. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna push the gen, I guess. Like, rush it. She is running him down. Come on. One. She's gonna finish that one. I'm gonna work on the one in the middle, I guess. Oh, good try, Michonne. You did so good, friend. Oh, she's working on this one. Let's put this together. Nice, nice, nice. She's gonna get hooked over here. Did he see him run away? I guess. Damn! Drop the medkit too. I'm gonna pick the medkit up. Don't come back this way. My medkit now. Don't worry, I got you, friend. Take it if you wanna. Will he come right back to the hook? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just a scratch.
Good job. Come, go that way. There should be a gen over here. Oh, right here. Damn, she got cooked. She got hooked really close. Is he here? Mr. Michael, don't be here. Don't be weird. Ah! Oh, damn it! He was here! He came back! Damn, he just went straight for her. Actually, no. I have a med kit. Nice, DS! Was that decisive? She did it! She hit him! Oh, go! I took it for you. Go, go! Run, friend, run! I'm sorry, I blocked her ass. Yes. Heal me, heal me, heal me.
Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Hey. Oh my god! That was a jump scare, holy shit! Holy shit! I had no idea he was even there. Bitch! I just want to stun him. Get away, get away, get away. He's gonna come right for me. The medkit is down there too. I'm just gonna keep running. He's sitting on the hook. He's sitting on hook. He's sitting on hook. Let's take that slow. Okay, he's sitting on hook. Does he see? Oh, fucking Rebecca's just running. Hey, lady, we have to go back. Oh yeah, Rebecca's gone. Let's go. Let's go to hook. I'm gonna hit the gen. She needs to get away from here. I'm just gonna rush the gen. We don't both need to heal. There's a medkit over there. Good job, guys. I'm sorry. He doesn't come hooker here. He hooks that door. Both doors are over here. Fuck. Alright, I'm gonna follow Michonne. Somebody needs to work on a door. I'm gonna go this way. See if I can go for unhook. Is he just sitting on her? Get the unhook, go, go, go. He's just sitting on her. Are you working on door, Michonne? She doesn't know where the door is. Go on the door, hurry up. Come on, hold it, Rebecca, hold it! No, hold it, Rebecca! It's a wrap, it's a wrap. I knew it. Come here, girl. Come, come, come. Go, 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 go. Go. No, I'm dead. Oh, whiff! Hurry up, Michelle! No! Please! Please! What? Michonne was supposed to go behind me! No! They got him up. Okay, they got him up. They got him up. The door's open. The door is open, at the very least. She lost her DH, by the way. She missed her fucking dead hard. Because why would he hit you, friend? Why would he hit you? Why would he hit you? You're right at the door. You could have just escaped. They're fully healed. He must have his power. He's stalking too. is she just sitting up there? Oh my god, he's using his power too already. You need to heal our third teammate, friend. He is so annoying, look! Go, go, go! Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! I don't care, girl. You missed your... I'm leaving. I'm leaving, girl. You got me fucked up. Heal me. Last chance. Let's go. No. Oh, we gotta go, Michonne. GG's. No, we have to leave. There's no time. There's no time. There's no time. It's not worth it. Like, we can't heal him. GG. That was fun. That was crazy. GG's. GG's. It was worth it. We got a sack, but it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. He was just sitting on me. They took too long. Why are you going into the room? You should have just pulled off and tried.
It's gonna be busy.
Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Nessie, thank you for hanging out here. Thank you for coming this again. Honestly, I'm so grateful for a friend like you. And did one die? Yeah, we literally lost a guy. He definitely died. Like, we were running out of time there, so once you open the doors, there's a timer. They're like, okay, get out. And sometimes the killer takes advantage of that timer, like he was doing. So he's trying to milk the timer, and yeah. Anyway, I love you too, and I'm so grateful for our friendship, honestly. You have known me through, like, the roughest part of my life, so I appreciate you, and good luck on your tests, good luck on studying. Like, oh, studying sucks, and I just know that you're probably just stressed out even just about taking the test. Like, you know, you're brilliant, so you're gonna be great at it, but good luck. And I'll start texting you more and just checking in and making sure things are okay, friend. And I love you, and send my love to the kids. And if things work out, whatever, I'll text you tomorrow, and if we can see each other tomorrow during the day, I would love to see you. But I understand if things don't work out, it'd be fine. And I'll just see you the next time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. We're gonna raid to Kevin. He's playing Resident Evil. He's a vibe. I miss him a lot, so let's show him some love. Is he still live? Let's hope. Let's hope he's still live. He is still live. And yeah, let's go say hi to Kevin, and happy birthday, Justin! Happy birthday, Raven! I can't swim! Good night! Bye!